There are many password managers to consider, and if you haven't yet found a Keeper, well then in this Keeper review, I'm going to discuss this password manager's pros and cons and ensure that you know if this is in fact a Keeper. First, a good password manager needs excellent security to keep my passwords safe. So is Keeper secure? Keeper does satisfy my requirements in that regard. It uses a virtually unbreakable encryption algorithm often employed by banks and the military. Keeper even keeps only the encrypted passwords on its cloud. Its zero-knowledge architecture pretty much guarantees that not even they know what I'm keeping in the app. And that's thanks to two-factor authentication. Nobody can get my passwords by simply grabbing my device. An additional input is always required to log in. So this is far from unwarranted boasting. Keeper is regularly audited by independent third-party reviewers. Their security is worth highlighting. To this day, Keeper has no breaches or other issues with their security. To further emphasize the security of this service, Keeper runs a vulnerability disclosure program, or in other words, a bug bounty program. These programs encourage researchers and ethical hackers to report any software weaknesses for a reward. Finally, if your device is lost or stolen, there's an ultimate safeguard feature that self-destructs the app, wiping all the info from your device so that no hacking or brute forcing can ever gain access to it. So if security is your main concern, Keeper is definitely worth trying out. And there's no better way to start than using a discount to make your introduction to Keeper super affordable. Scan this QR code or check the link in the description to get the best deal available. Now, after this whole Keeper Security Review 2025, this amount of security features can be intimidating. But how hard is using Keeper? Surprisingly, not at all. I found the app extremely easy to use, even though it doesn't look the part. While not as confusing as some other password managers that look stuck in the last century, Keeper is still not modern enough, but at least it has separate apps for Mac, Windows, iOS, Android, and Linux, and that's without mentioning the browser extensions that support all the most popular choices. So regardless of what device you use, you will always have access to your passwords. So Keeper is a completely cross-platform service, meaning that you don't lose any data while switching between different devices. All the main features also remain accessible regardless of the device. Most importantly, Keeper has short explanations for each feature in the app, which helps beginners a lot. So there are a lot of such features to discuss. So let me show you what Keeper has in store for us. Perhaps the first thing for me is the password importing. That's where my journey with Keeper began. I use this feature to seamlessly transition from using Google Password Manager. Usually the transfer is handled in one click, but alternatively, you can even save your passwords from a different device and upload it in the app to handle the transfer immediately. It's very convenient. So once your passwords are transferred, one thing is bound to happen. Keeper's security audit feature is going to start to bombard you with warnings about reused or weak passwords. That's what this feature does. It ensures that you know which of your passwords are a threat to your account security. Don't worry though, you won't have to come up with new, safer passwords yourself. Password Generator is the feature that I use instead. This generator is highly customizable. I can choose which symbols and lengths that I want, making password creation really a matter of a single button press. Okay, with my passwords replaced with more difficult ones, I instantly had another issue. Copying them from the app every time is time consuming, and typing something like this by memory is borderline impossible. Well, that's where this feature autofills all the passwords automatically when I try to log in, provided that I have a browser extension installed. Now, it's not just about passwords either. OTP codes, usernames, and even payment data can be filled in automatically. These are the most important and widely used features, but personally, they're not the only ones that I've used a lot. For instance, Keeper Breach Watch is another great feature that monitors the dark web for any data links associated with saved accounts. Secure sharing is also valuable for me. I constantly share passwords and files with Carlos from the Spanish channel. Yes, files too, since Keeper has dedicated encrypted file storage included in the app. The sharing is handled through an encrypted channel as well, which is much safer than sending a DM through Facebook. That said, Keeper also comes with its own secure free messenger called Keeper Chat. I have to say though, it's really unlikely that this is going to replace Signal or WhatsApp, despite being actually really comfortable to use. A few smaller but nice features are offline access, which I believe is self-explanatory, and account recovery, an emergency feature that I use to give up to 5 contacts emergency access to my app just to be safe. So with so many features, one would think that Keeper doesn't have the fastest response, which would be inaccurate. Honestly, despite being really feature rich, Keeper provides very smooth performance with seamless autofill, instantaneous syncing between devices, and no system slowdowns. So if you're using an older device or you just consider any app slowdown a criminal offense, then Keeper is something to keep an eye out for. Of course, with everything said so far, I do need to touch on pricing in this Keeper review. After all, these features are not much value if they're gonna drain your retirement fund, right? Keeper is not that expensive, all things considered. So compared to other popular providers, the Keeper security price is on the cheaper side, considering there are no device limits. One account is enough for as many devices as you want, which makes sharing an account with family really easy. But I'm not gonna lie, not everything is perfect here. Without a money-back guarantee, I'm pressed to use the free trial or the very limited free version to try Keeper out, which is not ideal. However, with my deals, Keeper has become so affordable that I don't consider these really downsides to be worth worrying about. Just scan this QR code and check the link in the description for the best deal. If there's anything specific to highlight in this Keeper Password Manager review, it's that this is a very promising provider. Not only is it one of the fastest growing, best password manager options on the market, but it's also extremely affordable. It's packed with many useful features and extremely secure. It has everything I need from a password manager, and I think it's definitely worth trying. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to let me know. I'll be waiting for you in the comments section under the video. All right, hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to stick around for more to come. See you later.